Hello and welcome to 5-Minute Math. Today we are looking at the 8th grade concept of approximating square roots. This is standard 8.3a in the great state of Texas, and we are using item number 31 off the 2017 released STAAR test. If you have not done so already, please go ahead and take a moment to pause the video, work this problem out on your own, unpause it, and we will look at our answers together. So we've got Paula completely covering a square wall, so I'm just going to kind of draw that here. Using 87.5 square feet of wallpaper without any overlap, so we literally just covered the entire thing. Which measurement is closest to the side length? All right, so we're looking for the side length right here. And we know that the area equals the side length squared. So if we want to find just the side length itself, what we need to do is we need to take the square root of both, right? Because the square root of a square is just the s itself. So this is just a fancy way of asking us to really try to find the square root of 87.5, right? So that's side length equals the square root of 87.5 because that's our area. So how do we find that without a calculator? With a calculator, very simple. Well, there's a few ways that we can find the closest measurement here. So let me show you one way. So what we're going to do is we are going to take our square root of 87.5 and we're going to try to find the next square root that's below it and the next square root that's above it that we know of, right? So if we were to do the next square root of that's below it, I'm going to say it's 81 because I know that 9 times 9 equals 81. And then the next square root that's above it is going to be the square root of 100 because 10 times 10 makes 100. So 87.5 sits right there between your 81 and 100, okay? Now, if we wanted to get a little bit closer, we can say, okay, what's the distance here between 100 and 81? That's going to be 19, right? So that whole distance is 19. And you see that this distance right here, the smaller distance, is going to be 6.5. And this distance right here is going to be 12.5. So it's definitely a little bit closer to 9. It's only 6.5 away from 9, and it's almost twice as long farther away from 10, so I'm going to call it like 9.3, maybe 9.35, almost 9.4. So just a guess. So we look at our answers here, and we don't have any decimals, but we do have this one right here that's the closest one. I guess if you round it down, it's not super close, but it is the closest one. So if we didn't know any better, we could go with that. But how else could we solve this? Well, let's just plug each of these into the side, right? So if I were to do 7 times 7, or 7 squared, right, if that were my side length, that would be an area of 49. That's not super close because the area was 87.5. So let's see what happens when I get 9. So 9 squared, well, we know that's 81. Closer. Let's see what this 22 squared is. That's not one I have memorized, so let's just go ahead and do that. 44, wow, 484. That is not anywhere close. And as you could tell, that 44 is going to be a heck of a lot larger, but let's just go ahead and figure that out. So that's 16, 17, same thing there. So that is going to be 1,936. So you could either solve it this way, or you can just plug each of these answer selections into the side length and then square it to see which one gets you closest to your actual area of 87.5. Well, if we had decimals, we can get closer, but without decimals, our closest is going to be C, 9 feet.